Hey guys, tonight we're going to be taking a crack at this ASSA twin combi that Richard Melker sent to me. It works perfectly, but it has a quirk, and here's the quirk. First I'll show you the key. 6 pins. You can see it's quite a challenging bitting. It's going to be some fun. I haven't picked this yet, but what I can tell you, looking down inside of there are no sidebars. I looked down there with the LED flashlight and a magnifier. There are no sidebars in this. But it still works perfectly, and maybe it was part of a larger, like an apartment complex, and this was a less secure door. I really don't know how that played out. But I should tell you up front, one of the tricks to picking these, particularly if you have a passive sidebar like we have in this one, is when you put your tension wrench in there, you might put some tension on it and believe that you're tensioning the lock because we're so used to using very light tension. But you have to overcome the pressure of the sidebar. There's a spring in it you have to overcome, so you have to turn it just a little bit more, as you see there. Only then are you tensioning it, because if you don't push it just a little further, you're not going to get any feedback whatsoever. You're going to feel absolutely nothing, and you're going to be discouraged. So push it over until you can feel it overcome that sidebar, and then back off just a hair. Then you should be getting some pretty good feedback. So just a little tip on picking some of these ASSAs. Okay, I'm working my way down the stack, and I'm on pin 4. Feel like a little bit of feedback from him. And continuing down the stack. Feels like pin 1. Get some resistance, as you can see there. Let me move this just a hair so you can see my tension wrench a little more clearly. There we go. So we got all the way to the rear, and keep feeling around. We're looking for some kind of feedback, and it feels like pin 6. Okay, got him set. Got a pretty good fault set now. Got to keep that careful balance on the tension wrench to overcome that spring tension on that passive sidebar. Okay, that was pin 1. I thought we'd set him already, but I guess not. And I felt nothing, so let's all the way to the rear again. It's like pin 5. And there we go, got it open. Alright, so let's go ahead and, we're only at 3 minutes, let's go ahead and gut this thing and see what we're dealing with. Move this junk out of the way. Get our pinning tray. Okay, a pair of tweezers, here we go. Alright, so, you need Phillips, let me get this centered here. That's a little better. Alright, let's take some Phillips screwdrivers out, or screws out. I just locked it up again, but that doesn't matter because on this one we do have a key. Getting a little impatient with that. There we go. That's the right size. Yes, okay, find the key, and oh, we locked it in the up position. Alright, so no problem. We'll just rotate him around a little bit. As the core comes out. Well, let's just try to take that. No, we can't do that. Find a more favorable pick, something a little stiffer to push those pins up so we can rotate it. There we go, that's a little better. More gooder. Okay, let's see if we can. We're gonna make it, Okay, here we go. You know it's always the last one you try, right? Okay, so let's just set that down. You can see we have all 6 pins in there. We have a little bit of counter milling. I don't know if you can quite make it out, but there's just very light counter milling on there. And then we have our passive sidebar. I don't even know why they bother with this other than to keep the tension on the core. I think that can be the only reason to put one of these in there. And then of course we've got to deal with these tiny little springs. I'm going to pull those out so we don't lose them. I've lost, I can't tell you how many of those. Okay, let's see what we got. Looks like we got a master wafer on the first one, and the second one, and the third one. Okay, these are all standard key pins, normal. Interesting thing about this, we do have some security features. We have an anti-drill steel insert here. We have one steel insert here to prevent you from drilling out the sidebar. And then of course we got 2 more over here, or actually 1 more on this side. Hey, look at there, there's even one on this side. Okay, enough of that. Let's pull this thing apart and see what we got. Okay, we got a weird looking spool thing. I call it a Christmas tree. Get a better angle here. Like tonight, nothing is wanting to cooperate with me. And we got 1 more. Where'd you go, you devil? Okay, I think we can make this out. All standards on the bottom. We got some master wafers, which actually makes it a little bit easier to pick. It gives us a couple extra shear lines to deal with. And then the rest of these, every single one of them is a spool of some kind. I don't know what the formal name for. I call them the Christmas trees because they start at the top small and then they get larger as they progress towards the bottom of the pin. Making them really easy to get hung up on that shear line, particularly if there's some kind of counter milling, or if it's been, if the inside of the core is threaded, makes it kind of hard to get past that. But there's what we're looking at, fellas. So the ASSA twin combi without a sidebar, without the finger pins, but with a passive sidebar. There you go. Everybody, thanks for your time. Everybody stay safe and stay legal.